Hello, Global Village. Okay, I tried to resist, but I felt the compulsion to make a short video about, of course, AI. So yesterday I saw a couple of really interesting videos, and my primary goal here is to just signal boost them and share them as links in the description, and probably in a comment as well, but definitely in the description, so that hopefully other people can see them, because I think they are very educational, and primarily on the basis of eliminating a lot of the nonsense and hype that surrounds the sort of claims that AI CEOs are continuing to amplify and tell everyone, your job is in imminent risk because an AI is going to take it over, blah, blah, blah. Now, I don't want to completely diminish the possibility that AI is not, in fact, going to have a significant impact on the job market. I'm not arguing that. I am, however, saying that there is a tremendous amount of hyperbole around what these latest generation of large language model chatbots can do and what they can't do, and these videos do a fantastic job of getting to the bottom of that. However, there is a caveat here, which I found quite interesting, and I admit was another reason why I felt like I really wanted to make the video. And that is that in both cases, I feel like the videos that I am here to promote are problematic in their own right. So in the first instance, I'm talking about a video made by a guy who used to write scripts for Veritasium. So he's very intelligent, very fastidious. His production quality, unlike mine, is through the roof. It's excellent. And the video itself is so informative, you will learn a lot by watching it. So what is the problem then? Well, the problem is this guy is way too credulous. He seems to take at face value claims that are being made by these CEOs, such as the CEO of Anthropic, and he directly quotes him several times throughout his video, as if this man has anything of real value and legitimacy to say about what he thinks the future of AI offers us. Because in fact, this CEO has openly been caught lying, bold-faced lies, and also predictions that have turned out to be completely untrue. The sort of predictions that would give Elon Musk a run for his money. So it annoys me that he is he seems to lack a healthy level of skepticism that I think compromises the otherwise very good work of his video. Now, of course, I'll let people be their own, make their own mind up on that as to whether his level of credulity is just naive. I think it is. Nonetheless, he's a very smart individual, and he's created an excellent video, well worth checking out. Now, the other video I want to recommend does, I think, even perhaps a better job of looking under the hood of how large language models actually work, demystifying them, and also really deflating and exposing the hyperbolic nonsense about what these large language models represent in terms of, are they actually intelligent? Can they actually think? And I believe the answer to that is a very clear no, and I've made my own videos in the past where I've tried to represent an argument to present that. However, this guy has a very strong understanding of exactly how large language models are engineered, what they are doing, and he presents a compelling case for why they certainly don't think, why they are effectively a form of mathematical engine, that in effect we've mathematized our own language and developed a way of creating sort of mathematical correlations that allow these large language models to produce quite astonishing results, which mislead us into thinking that they are reasoning, that they are rational thinking agents that are using, logical deduction, etc., to draw their answers and present us with, reliable responses. That is not what they're doing. And anyway, his video is well worth checking out. So what's the problem with it? Well, there's no direct problem here, but it is very interesting and I think quite disturbing that the creator of this video is in fact an intelligent design advocate. So I want to speculate a little bit here as to exactly why someone who promotes intelligent design would be so interested in debunking large language models. And I think the answer is pretty obvious. It's that their motivation for intelligent design is that they are theologically motivated to believe that effectively God designed us, and that evolution therefore is not the correct way to think about how we've evolved, but that in fact there was some sort of divine hand in the matter, and that they think intelligent design points in that direction. Now, I believe this is inherently bad science for the obvious reason, or what I hope is obvious, that you don't have a conclusion and then go backwards and look for evidence to support the conclusion. You start out by looking at the evidence, and then the evidence leads you towards a conclusion. And I put it to you that intelligent design is effectively the result of creationism trying to legitimize itself by giving it the appearance of a scientific veneer. So anyway, that said, it doesn't detract, or it shouldn't remove the excellent video in its own right, because it is very good, one of the best I've ever watched, which is why I'm signal boosting it. But I just wanted to add that caveat that I think in a certain sense the video itself is quite badly motivated, and that ultimately I think it represents another, or demonstrates a very interesting facet of humans that we probably all suffer from, including myself, which is to say we can engage in strong, rational and logical discourse when doing so doesn't conflict with deeply held personal beliefs that we have, which we may be strongly emotionally attached to. The moment that we are confronted with that type of inner conflict, it's much, much harder to maintain your integrity when it comes to the discourse of a particular subject that you have a stake in. I think on that basis I will end by just talking about the fact that many, many years ago I watched a fantastic video about an experiment called the Delayed Choice Quantum Eraser. Now, at the time, I was really digging into quantum mechanics, trying to get a handle on how I could intuitively understand it. And one of the famous experiments, of course, is the double slit experiment, which in itself is quite mind-numbing. However, there's a massive level up in the Delayed Choice Quantum Eraser, which I became absolutely obsessed with trying to understand, and I watched many, many videos that explained how the experiment worked so that I could properly comprehend what it was what it said about our underlying reality. And I did get there, and I got there in large part because of a fantastic video, which, I'm going to see if I can dig it up, and I'll include that in the list of videos I want to link to here, because it really helped me to properly understand what the delayed choice quantum eraser is, what the nature of that experiment is, how it was set up, what it's doing, and ultimately what it might say about our reality. Now, the interesting thing was the creator of that video was a Christian apologist, and pretty much every other video on his channel was going through scripture and trying to explain why it was legitimate, why it is something that everyone should believe to be true and rational and logical. And I think the channel is called Inspiring Philosophy. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, I'm going to try and dig it up, and I will link to it. But needless to say, I was quite dismayed to discover the rest of the content of that channel. And I did hypothesize at the time that his motivation for interrogating the delayed choice quantum eraser in such meticulous detail, including, I believe, he engaged in a conversation with one of the people who originally did the experiment just to confirm he himself was on the right track. So he really did the hard yards, and it shows in the quality of his video. But again, I think it demonstrates when someone can become sufficiently motivated to adhere to the scientific method and to present its findings honestly and openly, when it actually in some sense corroborates their own belief system, then they will do so. And in this case, he absolutely did. I believe he was motivated to create that video simply because it almost suggests that there is an underlying aspect to our reality which a divine entity may well have a hand in constructing. I don't believe that, of course, and I don't believe the delayed choice quantum eraser says that, but I can understand how someone with a theological position might think it could be leveraged to suggest so. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Please check out the videos, especially the two videos I specifically wanted to talk about here. I will also include a video that debunks the Anthropic claims, specifically their claim that they just said to their chatbot, create a C compiler, and they tried to represent it as if it did indeed do that. No, it did not. There is a great channel called Wall Street Millennial where he deconstructs that claim and proves that it is just a complete and blatant lie. Anyway, Bendy out.